Joining me now is Annie Cyrus to give us an update on the latest that's going on in Iran. Annie, welcome back to the broadcast. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me back, Brannon.
All right, so where are we at? Benjamin Netanyahu is saying he can do it alone. That's what's being put out there in the press. So I say let him do it and let's support him.
Well, technically, Brannon, if you think about it, he already did it alone. What's left? Seriously, let's go over the list. What is left to do as far as military action?
Go ahead and kill Khomeini and be done with that.
Well, yes, killing Khomeini would be the icing on the cake. Then the cake is ready on the table. There are scrambling so badly inside Iran, from messages of armed force sent to their own soldiers, from morality police all over the streets of every province. You can see that I have received voicemails and direct calls. I have also listened to calls to other networks, Farsi-speaking networks. I can tell you probably, Brannon, over 1,200 audio files that I'm translating right now of direct support for Prince Pahlavi, direct support for Israel, and praising them to finish the job. People are ready to go. They're done. They are announcing that we are watching them have no power over us anymore.
You say the morality police. What did you say about the morality police, though?
They are on the streets trying to arrest people. But guess what? People are beating them up. They are getting beat up by people. Like, the fear has lifted from the nation.
Wow.
People aren't even doing the uprising on the streets anymore. They're casually walking or driving, and when they're stopped by the morality police, they just beat them up.
Wow.
Probably if you search quickly on X, you find a bunch of videos of them being beat up by people.
Logan, can you see that real quick? Yeah.
What Netanyahu just did in last 7 days have lifted 500 layers of fear from the entire nation after 46 years. That's what I call he already did it by himself.
So what do you make of the White House press secretary coming out today saying that President Trump will make a decision on Iran within the next 2 weeks? That could be tonight, tomorrow, or 13 days from now. What do you make of that comment?
I'll say he already made his decision, and she already announced it. We're not getting involved. It's the unspoken decision that was made already. There is no other way to take this, especially when it closes with leaving opening for negotiation.
Mm-hmm.
He already made his decision. He's not getting involved. Now, is it per Netanyahu request, or is it per his own advisors telling him we don't need to get involved? I don't know that part. But I think that announcement today was the decision.
So what's the timetable you're looking at for this? Is this, I mean, right now, by the way, when it comes to that one remaining nuclear facility, I guess, they're saying they can do it with humans. So they own the skies. So they drop in humans, put in the detonation, get out, detonate, and boom, that problem's taken care of. So you don't really need the U.S.
Exactly. So we're talking about Fardo, the nuclear site.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
So let's quickly go over where Fardo is. Fardo is a facility, not as the village. It is on northwest of the province Qom. And it is buried, they're guessing, 80 to 100 meters under the Qom mountain. So yes, the only reasonable way to do it is through, like, go in, boots on the ground, go in, and blow it up. As of right now, 2/3 of the military members, IRGC military members, who were watching Fardo facility have been called in to other provinces. So they have basically abandoned their post by order. So the security around Fardo isn't even what it was a week ago. And as of right now, based on all the arrests they're making in Iran, they know Mossad is inside Iran. They know it. Otherwise, why would they knock at certain specific doors and drag people out, put them in handcuffs, and They are disappearing, by the way. At the moment, there's
The
a
people
report of
that they
seven-
think, the people they think have been flipped by Mossad or working with Mossad are disappearing?
Exactly. Exactly. Today, there was a mother whose both sons were picked up 3 days ago and their bodies were returned today. Do we know for a fact if they were? From the calls I have heard today, Brannon, I think 70% of Iranians are working with Mossad now. You have no, then when I have these translated, I'll send you a few of them. They're literally calling with everybody has stopped talking about how good or bad Israel or Netanyahu is. Can you just all hold on until they finish what they're doing here, and then you can all pick a fight with them again? That's the level Iranian people are at. They don't even want to hear anything good or bad about Israel or Netanyahu. They just want them to finish, and then people can take the country back. Easily 60% of those calls finish the call with, we can't wait to see Prince Pahlavi in Tehran. We can't see Prince Pahlavi in Tehran. So there you go. That's the support behind Pahlavi now.
What do you make of those who say that he's and his family been out of Iran too long and don't really have any ability to run the nation? What do you make of people saying that? You've heard that, right?
I have heard that. And me being me, my response has been, I've been out of the country pretty much as close as they've been out, right? But my reporting is still spot on. My guesses about what's going to happen are spot on, and I'm connected to Iranian people. It's not about how long you've been out of a country. It's about how close you stayed in touch with them. And both our queen and Prince Pahlavi have been in touch with Iranians this whole time. Policy hasn't changed. This is the same enemy that destroyed the Pahlavi family. They don't need to know what happened in the last 46 years. They know the enemy. They faced it. But they lost the battle because Western countries got behind their enemy. So they don't need extra knowledge, Brannon. They already know the enemy they're facing. As far as Prince Pahlavi not having actual real-life experience of governing, I agree with that. However, as I said, he has his mother who was behind King Pahlavi, Shah Pahlavi, while he was building the country and going through the white revolution. So she's there to help.
Are you still there, Annie?
Yes, can you still hear me?
Yep, got you. Well, and I would say also, President Trump didn't have any experience until he was president for the first time.
Exactly. Exactly. And let's not mention, it's a added bonus. This is not my thought. I shouldn't take credit. Another Iranian reporter brought this up, and I learned from them, and I agree with them. Never thought of it. But isn't this an advantage when you have Prince Pahlavi, who completely understands our culture, our music, our history, it speaks the language fluently, writes and reads the language, however, grew up in America and partially in Europe, understanding the Western culture. His father only knew the culture through training. Prince Pahlavi lived that he assimilated it. You know how much easier it's going to be for him to bring that assimilation into the nation and help Iranians bounce right back to mini America?
So what do you make of this headline by the New York Post tonight? Trump's fear of Iran becoming another Libya stalls decision on nuke site strikes for 2 weeks. Well, first of all, I don't know that was a 2 week. They said within 2 weeks. So I think, that's not really an accurate headline. But what do you make of that? Then he was concerned, well, will our bunker busting bombs even do anything, if we're going to go do this? So what do you think this is really all about? And now some are saying that Israel's running out of interceptors, but that, I don't know why people would say that, because didn't we just send and didn't they just receive in the last day another big shipment in Israel from us? I don't think they're running out of interceptors has anything to do with us getting more involved, because we've been sending them more interceptors, have we not?
Oh, yes, we have. And even if we say we haven't, Brannon, what is there left to intercept?
I guess we're talking about the Iron Dome. Last night they did have a bunch come in, and now they're using... No,
I understand. But the thing is, as of right now, the IRGC cannot handle even firing more than 8 missiles at a time. They're low on missile launchers and they're low on missiles. I'm just playing the devil's advocate here. Yes, we are sending them what they need and they're not going to run out. But to counter the very, made up illusion of argument, we can say, okay, fine, they don't have the interceptors anymore. But they're not being, it's not night one when Iran fired 300 missiles. They barely made it to 8 in the last 24 hours. And let's not mention, again, there are videos that you can easily see. Iranians are walking out of their house in areas of farming areas. And they literally use their phone to show you a Papa missile mislaunching and landing in their backyards, in their farms. But these are the information our media isn't putting out. They're not showing how weakened the military actions of Iran is.
Here, in fact, I think I found the morality police being confronted. I'm going to see this for the first time with you guys. Here we go. Well, let me plug it in. I think it was plugged in. I got to get the right audio. My audio changed on me. Sound. And then choose which one, Logan? External. Yeah, there it is. All right, here we go. Is that a recent video?
This one I have not seen either, actually. The ones that I've seen is adults beating them up.
It's dated.
But
June,
what
June
the girls are saying on that video is, why don't you just leave us alone and go do what you need to do, protect your own, what.
Wow.
But yes, the inside Iran is way worse. There are at least 10 videos of missile launchers. Actually, I think Logan has the most recent missile launcher hit confirmed by Iran's media broadcast video in his email. I sent it earlier for Sharon's show. Mm-hmm. But they are not where, I don't know again who's advising Trump, but they're not anywhere near surviving this. As far as Iran turning into Libya, I almost feel insulted for anyone who thought that. Like, they need to study Iran. They need to understand that. I mean, don't study Iran. Just go on Google and look up the Iranian Americans involved in, some really high places in America, like NASA. Look who holds the highest ranking of mathematician in the world, who is an Iranian American woman. Iran's not going to turn into Libya or Iraq or Afghanistan or any of that. Again, those were forced regime changes. This is not. Since 2009, people of Iran every few years come on the streets, get killed by this regime, and the chant hasn't changed. The chant is death to dictator, death to Khamenei, take your Sharia, leave us alone. There you go. That's the video of the latest launcher hit. Missile launcher hit.
What do you make of them striking that hospital last night with these cluster bombs?
That's what they do, Brannon. That's Islamic Republic of Iran. That was on purpose. First of all, they don't have the intelligence that Israel has. They don't really know who's where to go target them. They don't have the equipment to precisely target.
And the word is that's why some of these foreign media outlets were over there giving them coordinates on the ground. Yes.
And we don't talk about them, though, right, Brannon?
Right.
We don't talk about them. But if we help Israel in any shape or form, then, we went to war. No, we didn't. This is how war works, by the way. For your audience who may not be familiar, when Iran-Iraq war was going on for 8 years, guess what? It was Iran against Iraq, backed by American generals giving them a strategy, British generals giving them coordinations, and MEK giving them all the underground tunnels into the country. That's just the way war works.
All right, so the music's playing, hard break. I'll let you go here, but tell me what should we expect over the next few days?
I believe there will be another wave of attack on the armed forces in Iran from Israel. Unfortunately, I think Iran's going to target more civilians in Israel. I hope they just take shelter and stay safe. And I repeat, we will not get involved. We are not going to war. We're fine over here.
LiveUpToFreedom.com, LiveUpToFreedom.com. Be sure to check out her store, LUTFstudio.com, LUTFstudio.com. We'll be right back.
MelissaHousebg.com.
What,
Bella
babe?
Grace Elixir.
She called me today and she told me something, and I said, you have got to tell the audience this. They need to hear this because it's really good news for those of you that, well, are taking Bella Grace. What happened today?
Well, I went to my hairdresser and I had not told her about this product that I've been taking, and she was blow drying my hair. She said, I just noticed when I was parting your hair and fixing it that you have a bunch of new hair growth. I've been going to this lady for probably 13 years and she's never said that to me. And I had noticed it, but for the fact that she noticed it was, I had to call Brannon right away and tell him.
We have not mentioned this a lot because we're not going to make claims, okay?
Right.
You can go to the website, you can read the testimonials, you can read the clinical reviews, the clinical trials, but we're not prone to making a lot of claims about the product other than personally.
And I wanted to take it for a while.
And we wanted to take and try it. But we had heard that one of the things this would do...
Well, collagen will grow your hair.
Collagen supposedly grows your hair.
She said, you've never had this before. I don't...
But we had heard that was the testimony of others, but we can't go on that.
She saw it on her own without me even telling her that I was... And then I went on to tell her that I've been taking
what you were
this
taking.
Product, yes.
Own hairdresser said you got more hair and new hair coming in up top.
Yeah, she just said you've never had this like this, and it's growing, and you just have all these baby hairs growing in, and they're kind of curly. And so I just told her that what I was taking, and she was amazed. So
MelissaHousebg.com.